and start it with the Carolina Panthers. Listen, Carolina is teasing their fans, namely Bryce Young and Dave Canales. What are they doing there? I don't know, but still, I like it. I like that we're going to get another year of Bryce Young because just who's not rooting for the guy?
Yeah,
Like, who's not
yeah,
rooting for Bryce Young?
yeah. He was benched early on, and we were like, he's a bust. He came back, and he started playing with like that anticipation that we saw in college. That like almost like they compared him to Steph Curry because like he just would see the field well. He's a good point guard, and he started playing well with very bad to below average weapons. So yeah, and, you know, Canales representing all the Latin community out there, but
Órale.
also proving his worth there by saying like, I'm gonna bring this guy back, fix this offense with very limited weapons, minus Miles, no, minus Jonathan Brooks most of the year, minus big Thielen was hurt most of the year, so we're just gonna piece it all together and we're gonna make a pretty good offense. And I think it's a nice team. It's not great, it's a nice team though. It's a very positive team.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so they're starting off with $30 million, but they can cut Miles Sanders and cornerback Dane Jackson, save about 10 there, so I up them to about $40 million. Miles Sanders, they might cut, they might not, because obviously Jonathan Brooks out for next year. So I'm
Yeah,
really curious to see if they were to draft in the running back, how he might be like a training camp cut. Um,
you're
what
so
what?
disrespectful. You're so disrespectful to Chuba Hubbard. He had a great
No,
season.
no, 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 no. But no, I'm saying like they obviously like to have multiple backs. So like I would cut those two guys to get the number up to $40 million. And the first move I have is to extend cornerback J.C. Horn coming up on his last year. You don't let good players walk. You don't let the best player on your defense, because you just traded Brian Burns. You let him. You already traded him. Let's keep J.C. Horn in house. Well,
Yeah,
Derek Brown's probably the best player. Second best player, J.C. Horn. Extend him immediately. Get that thing done. Send a
yeah.
message to your fans. We're not going to let good players walk anymore or be traded for nothing. I've already seen little rumors about J.C. Horn being moved. Let's not do that. Let's keep him in house. He's a very good corner. Once upon a time, he was picked in front of Patrick Surtain. So obviously, there's talent there. There's obviously upside there. So keep him in house. Secondly, you know what? This guy's become one of my kind of favorite linebackers here.
Yep.
Linebacker Jameen Sherwood. I don't know why it's so hard to say. Jameen Sherwood,
Yeah, he's one of my favorites too.
24 years old, filled in for CJ Mosley pretty nicely. You're losing Shaq Thompson already. You guys already moved on from him. You have linebackers there that aren't very appealing or sexy. So I think you get him in there. Solid started with upside. So you're trying to get a young defense in here. Sherwood, 24 years old, a plug and play guy.
Yeah, I think Sherwood is a nice gamble for the Panthers. It does hurt to kind of look around and see Brian Burns doing his thing and Frankie Luvo doing his thing and Jeremy Chin doing his thing, all for other teams. You think about the talent that could have been on this roster still, but I think Jamie and Sherwood is a guy who can, like you said, grow into outplaying this contract and maybe extending him into the long term, leader of your defense or one of the leaders in your defense there in the middle of the linebacking core. And obviously played behind some great linebackers for the Jets. We saw that work out for Zach Bond, where he was kind of blocked as well on the depth chart. Gets a chance to shine on his own team, and
Yeah.
look what happens to him there. I think you're hoping for a similar thing here, which Jamie and Sherwood, and then
Yeah.
J.C. Horn, love it. Yes,
Yeah.
keep him in, please. You have the
Yeah.
cap space, no brainer.
Yeah, then now let's get the sexy pick. Let's get the wideout that we've been wanting in Carolina for a couple years now. Let's connect him back with his former OC, David Canales. Let's go get wide receiver Chris Godwin here to play that slot. I think this would let you let go of the Thielen kind of experiment. Get a younger, even though he's not young, a younger wideout has playing experience with head coach David Canales, and also elevates your wideout room. Last year he was killing it, obviously. Then he had the foot injury, so I think signing him to a nice deal, get like a number one option. I'm not sure if it's number one wideout, but number one option for Bryce Young, and you have a couple young guys there already on the roster. Get him there, have him become the center point, the focal point of this offense. Kind of what they were trying to do with Deontay Johnson last year. The same type of
Yeah.
type of wideout, like a separator over the middle kind of guy. Exactly what he is, and a godsend for quarterback Bryce Young.
Chris Godwin's been a quarterback's best friend since the moment he stepped into the league. He's
Yeah.
just been that kind of guy. I think it's an added bonus to take him away from a division rival. There's obviously ties there already with Dave Canales, and I think I'm actually thinking this can actually happen. Chris Godwin coming over, it's a great fit. I think you write out the Adam Thielen thing as long as you can. When he was on the field last year, he was your best wide receiver. So I think you keep him there as well. There's obviously a relationship there between Bryce Young and Adam Thielen. They brought back the Red Rocket to kind of help mentor as well. I think still recovering from that car accident. I should laugh about that.
That's messed up.
But yeah, I like Chris Godwin here.
Yeah, and then my last signing here would be center Ryan Kelly. You've already invested so much in the offensive line, and the offensive line was good last year. That's a good offensive. You paid a lot for Robert Hunt, but that actually worked out. You have your two tackles there, and then now you put Ryan Kelly in the middle there. Get him to solidify that entire offensive line. Get that to be a position of, dare I say, strength for his Carolina Panthers team that hasn't had a good offensive line in a long time. Let's get Ryan Kelly there. Easy plug and play guy. Veteran will help this young quarterback out and this young offensive line. Let's put him here. Easy plug and play guy.
Yeah, Ryan Kelly too. You got to think of the experience he has calling out protections and recognizing defenses, and how he could maybe take a lot of the mental load off of Bryce Young. Just being there with all that experience next to some really good linemen as well that you said. I think bringing a veteran in like this around Bryce Young is another step toward, if it's going to work with Bryce Young, let's give him the pieces to make it work. You got an edge here from Georgia.
Yeah, in the draft here, obviously you just lost Brian Burns, and you have Clowney out there and Woonham on the other side. So you need some upside there. Obviously, Woonham's younger, so he might upside, but Clowney is what he is. Not a future piece at all. Go draft Jalen Walker there, edge at number 8 overall. You're trying to rebuild this defense. It starts with pass rush. You already signed the corner in this scenario, so let's go find another pass rush to help out Derek Brown and this defensive front.
I think Jadeveon Clowney was your leading sack guy last year with about 5.5. I think
that's not great.
That's not going to work.
No.
And Jalen Walker and these Georgia guys have been playing well in the NFL lately.
Yeah.
And so definitely, I think this as a whole is another step in the right direction for the Panthers. But it's really all about Bryce Young. Like, can you get this kid to turn the corner and complete one of the best comebacks I've ever seen for a young quarterback? We've been seeing this happen with quarterbacks flaming out on one team and maybe popping it again with another team. This guy flamed out on the Panthers, got benched, was pretty much 1 foot out the door, now making a comeback with the Panthers.
Yeah,
it's one of the coolest things I've seen. Yeah,
this is a team. Obviously David Tepper is just an absolute moron. But besides that, you want to root for this team, like Bryce Young. Obviously, like, the world called him a bust. The world hated him instantly. They got benched. So that's the embarrassment there. Because at that time, CJ Stroud was thought to be the future. Now it's almost flipped. Stroud's questionable, and Bryce Young is going into year 3 with a pretty good end to year 2. So this team, if they do these moves, a step in the right direction, not make the playoffs, but a step in the right direction for this young team.